more than a decade, Adams Publishing Group has quietly built one of the largest family-owned community newspaper companies in America. Over 30 daily newspapers, more than 100 non-daily publications, hundreds of digital and print products over 19 states. Adams has become a major force in local media today. And I'm joined by two executives leading that growth. Mark Adams, President and CEO, Nick Monaco, COO. And Nick, I have you down as President of APG East as well. Is that true?
Yes, but you can focus on the COO part.
We will. We'll call you the coup for the day. And together they've guided this expansive organization through rapid change while staying true to its community focus. Plus, on this program, you'll be the first to hear about a major rebranding. However, I'm throwing all that out the window because I finally have Mark Adams on an interview. Mark, over the last 10 years, I've been to over 100 industry conferences. I've never seen you on a stage. It's hard. I've asked you to be on this program. You've never come on. And I'll be honest with you, when I even search you in news, I got a 1-minute video from 2019 on your Facebook page. I see a 2017 article in Pointer where Rick Edmonds got a quote out of you. And compared to Jeremy Goulbin at Cherry Road, Wall Street Journal in March, 5 articles in Pointer, 3 appearances on this program. Mark, I've got you here. I'm tossing out the agenda. Now we're going to have a one-on-one with you. I want to know your favorite color. I want to know who you voted for in the last 6 elections. I want to know if you're a mustard or ketchup guy coming into this incredible holiday weekend. And I want to know what TV shows you're... I'm kidding, Mark. How are you? It's just so great. What is it, Mark? You just don't like to be in the limelight? You just don't get... You must be excited.
First of all, let me just say, Mike, that I'm really happy to be here. Love the work that you do, supporting this industry. It's just really awesome, and your enthusiasm is awesome, and I really appreciate it. I guess I've just found in my very long career, dating back really to the early 80s, that not much good ever came whenever I did an interview or I was quoted or whatever. And on top of that, I found that, building a business, it's often, you can be more effective kind of by what you don't say as by what you do. And so I think being kind of a quiet builder or a quiet acquirer has, it's served me well. And I didn't just do it, here in the newspaper industry. Prior to that, I did it in the magazine industry. And so it's something that's just been effective for me. Plus, I'm just a really shy guy. Ask Nick, he'll tell you that.
That's why you got Nick on board, because Nick, no one's ever accused you of being shy. Am I right, sir?
And it is a perfect complementary leadership relationship that we have. And I'm very thankful for having Nick Monaco as my COO.
And full disclosure, I've known Nick for over 20 years, so we go way back with a multiple conference. But I'm going to ask my audience to stick around, because the real topic today is why Adams is announcing a major rebranding from Adams Publishing Group to Adams Multimedia. Stay with us. Right after this short break, we'll hear why they believe this rebrand is more than just doing a new logo, how they plan to serve advertisers and audiences in an era of constant disruption. Everyone stick around. We'll be right back.
This episode of E&P Reports is sponsored by Elite Insights, the trusted partner behind some of the most successful Best Of campaigns in local media today. Elite Insights provides an easy-to-administer, self-serve platform that helps publishers generate new revenue, grow audience engagement, and capture valuable first-party data, all through the power of community recognition. Their software is designed specifically for local media companies, with user-friendly tools that make it simple to launch, promote, and monetize Best Of contests year after year. Publishers love how quickly these programs deliver results, not just for their bottom line, but also for deepening relationships with readers and local businesses. Elite Insights believes in supporting local journalism through tools that actually work, one publisher partnership at a time. To learn more, visit eliteinsights.io. That's eliteinsights.io.
Okay, guys, I got the press release first, I think, because I haven't seen it anywhere else. Here's the headline for everyone. Adams Publishing Group evolves to Adams Multimedia, reflecting expanded capabilities and market presence. Mark, you were quoted in this article as saying, "This is more than a name change. It's a promise to lead with purpose." What was the single biggest catalyst that convinced you the time was right to evolve the brand into Adams Multimedia? Mark, you're up first.
Well, it was pretty methodical. We started the company in 2013, and at that time, I witnessed many organizations that were rapidly evolving to offering, more digital content, more digital marketing and advertising solutions, and really went into it or had been going into it full force and with rapidity. And I thought it was too fast. I didn't think that our readers and our customers were really just quite ready for that. So, rather than lead the charge, we observed our peers, we watched them with their successes and their failures, and we really took our time. And I'm happy to say that we didn't throw, the print side of our business, out in favor of this new shiny, kind of digital thing. So it was methodical. I would like to say that it was, well thought out. It's been an education process for the last decade. Not just with our own people, our own content folks and our own sales and marketing folks, but with our customers. We're in mostly, smaller communities. A lot of this stuff is complex and sophisticated, and we just really wanted to take our time, and we determined that the time was right. So we went from publishing, really into kind of a multi-platform approach, and so here we are, and I'm thrilled to be here. I don't think we were too soon. I don't think we're too late. I think we're just kind of perfect.
All right, Nick, I've known you for decades. And one thing I will say about you is you get to know your markets. I traveled over 100,000 miles a year to many cities working for you as a media consultant and even for Adams. And you'd meet me in those towns. I mean, I remember once you met me in the middle of the winter up in Alaska. I mean, you know your towns. You don't just sit in a corporate structure. You must still be traveling to them, getting to know the identity of the communities you serve. How does this repositioning reflect what your customers and your advertisers have been asking for, Nick? What do you think?
Well, as Mark mentioned, we've had a methodical approach to this, and we've taken a measured approach watching our peer group on it. But as we got out there, we knew that there was more social media and more digital media that was necessary in our smaller communities. People have a tendency to think that in a small town like Hayward, Wisconsin, that there's not an opportunity for digital, but we've proved them wrong. There is an appetite for digital, and so we've added products and services on our digital side. We've adjusted our structure to reflect that, and we train our multimedia account executives on a regular monthly call called Did You Know, which is a chance for them to did you know about our new digital offerings, and we train them on a regular basis. So what we've done in our evolution to Adams Multimedia is just reflect what our readers and advertisers want from us, which is digital products and services, while we continue to fund that future with a focus on print.
All right, so operationally now, let me throw it back to Mark. Is there a priority? Is it mainly a branding refresh, or will you be making structural shifts in how teams work across print and digital and marketing services? How do you see this, Mark, kind of at that 50,000-foot level?
Well, I think it's both. And, we believe in the power of print. We believe in the power of digital. And, we believe that what, is really going to drive that is having just really awesome, local content. So I really think they go, hand in hand. And again, this, evolution has, it's not just all of a sudden we're drawing a line in the sand and saying, okay, we're here. This has been going on for a very, very long time. And which we decided that that basically the name of the company should reflect that at this time.
Nick, you got a lot to manage. You've got over 220 media products across 19 states. That's a huge footprint. Um, we just had on this program Hoffman Media. I don't know if you know Payson, and he is a big believer in autonomy, where they don't there's not a lot of corporate structure. Where are you at on that? Do you have to ensure a consistency in execution while also giving local markets flexibility? Is every market different to you? What's the Adams, if I may, philosophy when it comes to corporate, I guess, corporate structure over local change? I hope I'm making sense with the question, sir.
First, we don't call it corporate. In our company, we call it home office. We think that term corporate has connotations that are negative. We don't have a one building where Mark and I and other senior executives reside. You know, we're diversified in different markets. Um, when it comes to operating, we believe that the local publisher and regional president are critical to our survival. Other organizations have gone to a sort of a remote structure and siloed where decisions are made in that if so-called corporate office. Our publishers and our regional presidents have all the levers in their control. We do have some consistency when we talk about how we organize ourselves and circulation, for example. We did make structural changes there where we shifted more from operational circulation, where we're worrying about our carriers and carrier retention, to now circulation, audience, and marketing. But all of our publishers have that control. We want them on the Rotary organizations, on the Chamber of Commerce boards, on the Economic Development Council. They're our eyes and ears on the street, and they help drive business for our local market, but also provide a point of reference. So many of our peers don't have that option, and we believe that's critical for us at Adams, and that's a structure that Mark and I believe is that will continue on.
And I think to add to that, Nick too, and Mike is, our sales and marketing and promotion and content, all of that is managed at the local level. So it's, boots on the street, it's, reporters at city council meetings, it's all of, good journalism happening. Most of the other stuff, like, accounting and finance and, HR and, circ management and marketing, IT, we've platformed it. So, it's allowed us to hire really the best professionals in those areas. I mean, I'll tell you, Nick, you probably remember this. We were trying to find a really good circulation person for Tennessee. Well, that's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And finally, kabam, we figured out, let's centralize this particular function, get the best minds, best marketing minds, doing circulation, and then provide that service across the company. So we've done that, but the things that really need to be local, we've left in place, and that is really the structure that we have. It's also allowed us to layer on acquisitions really, really easily. I think it's the right structure for this space today, and particularly as AI comes down the road, those programs are much easier for us to implement with the structure that we have, so that we're not totally decentralized, we're not totally centralized. I think it's a really good hybrid.
I guess this is a fair question, Mark. Some in the industry view diversification as a way to offset declines in print revenue. To what extent is this rebrand a defensive move versus an offensive move to seize new opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's definitely playing some offense, and I would also call it, the natural evolution. Our company has been pretty stable on the revenue side, although the mix, of course, has changed. And I think it will continue to change. I think it's going to find some equilibrium maybe here in a couple, 3 years. But I think that, the timing was right. I mean, we've never played defense. We've always tried to be in front of the momentum, but not too far in front. Again, like, as Nick mentioned, we really work hard to arm our MMAE sales force with just the best tools, print and digital marketing, promotion, that we can. But the key here is making sure that they understand them, that they can effectively communicate them to our customers. And when our customers don't understand them, then, we hold seminars for them as well. Because, as I mentioned, a lot of this stuff is uncharted territory for many of our customers. So, I know this sounds cliche, but it really is kind of a partnership. The key is having the right product mix, I think, and that includes print, and also being able to message it, communicate it, and of course, close it.
You've already announced the branding change to your team. The hundreds that are scattered throughout the many states you serve. What's the feedback been like? I'll let one of you go. I mean, how is the team responding? At least, how are you hearing it trickle up, if I may ask?
Go ahead, Nick.
When we introduced it in Orlando to our senior management team, we have a video that went along with it, and we got a thunderous applause. Everybody was very, very excited about the name change and the brand. And Mark and myself and other people were on that team that helped select that. they're very excited about it because it is an evolutionary process. It is a natural evolution of where we are right now. Publishing was a term that was somewhat confining. Multimedia is the name of our sales force, and so this name just fits perfectly with what we're doing. And our local audience, they really enjoy that because they know that digital sales is a critical part of what they're doing right now. We hold them accountable. We've got programs that track what we're selling so we can understand what our people are doing. But at the end of the day, they truly did enjoy the name change, and we're excited about it. And they think everybody wants a new logo. They want to put it on everything. I've had to slow them down a little bit on the introduction of it until we get through this process. But at the end of the day, it's been received with open arms from all the people in our organization.
I'm going to dazzle you with some quotes, gentlemen. It was Lord Kelvin who once said, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. And then Peter Drucker took a stab at that and said, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. We all have goals. We all have KPIs. Managers have to look at numbers. What are the metrics they're going to show you over time that this rebranding has moved the needle?
Well, local revenue is still a key part of our organization. And so that's a platform that we know that the bundled sale with digital was critical to our survival. But some of our KPIs on the digital is what percent digital are we selling of our advertising packages? We want to make sure that that's a key part of the package because for us, it's about audience. We've never been stronger as an organization when you take our bundled circulation, which is for that particular channel, people who want the printed product versus our total audience. It's an extraordinary audience at this point. And we have to do a better job of explaining that. So we're going to measure the digital performance. We're also looking right now at average size ad. There are some factors that we're looking at in terms of revenue and compensation percentages. So there's a number of KPIs that we use to measure our organization.
Mark, when they send you the numbers, weekly, monthly, however you track performance of your company, what are you going to be taking a look at as we go post rebranding at Adams Multimedia?
Well, part of my job, of course, is to measure revenue, and I think that this will be impactful to revenue. I think that our rebranding and the implementation and furthering of the strategy will have very positive, revenue impacts. I look at 1 million metrics every month, and by the way, we measure our performance weekly, much to the chagrin of our leadership team, because we meet every Tuesday, we talk about the prior week, we look at movement, so forth. But the things that we do measure, there's probably 30 of them, and they're all important. And I think that it comes down to providing quality journalism that people read, and supporting that with just really robust and amazing advertising and marketing and promotional solutions. If we continue to fuel that marriage, then we will continue to thrive. And it's been a great 11 years for me. I've never been so happy. People ask me when are you going to retire? And I'm just shocked when I hear that anybody would even think that I would want to retire, though I'm getting close to that age. And everybody in this company is having a great time and doing great work, and we'll continue to measure. We continue, to make people very accountable to performances, and making sure that all of our customers, whether they're a subscriber or an advertiser or a commercial printing customer, that they feel like they're with the best company ever. That's my job.
Mark Adams, President and CEO of now Adams Multimedia. Nick Monaco, Chief Operating Officer of Adams Multimedia. We want to thank you both for your valuable time. We want to thank you for letting E&P release this information to the industry. And Mark, I'm not going to let you off the hook. 4th of July, is it mustard, is it ketchup, or is it both on your hamburger? At least we'll get
I will tell you my favorite color is red. I like ketchup, but I'm not going to tell you who I voted for.
Gentlemen, thanks for your kind words about E&P as well. You guys have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.